Hello, everybody, and welcome in live. I am Matthew Miller, your host here today for the 40 Acres Postgame Show. We're on the main channel, we're on the Texas channel, we're on the Big 12 channel, and that is a crushing defeat for the Texas Longhorns. But honestly, they deserved it because they were not the better team today. That first quarter, it was basically like drowning and then working your way up from there. And I thought we did at the end, but then we got too conservative. But before we jump in, can you guys please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. Go over to the Texas channel. We're trying to grow that. Do the same thing for Mark over there as well. Even if you hate me, go do it for Mark. Go over to the Big 12 channel. Like that content, subscribe over there. Please, guys, we're trying to grow this brand, trying to grow these channels. So please do that. This is for MarkRogersTV, the voice of college ball. He does a great job. And there's one more thing I'm going to have you guys do. Go over to ticketsmarter.com if you're going to go and purchase tickets. Go to a great game like the Red River Rivalry. You get $10 off a purchase of $100 more with code BIG. And then you get $20 off a purchase of $300 or more with code BIG20. So please do that, guys. Please do that now. We'll jump into these comments real quick because what a game. Agreed, Brandon Tislow. Great game. I predicted Texas to win this game, I believe 31-26. I knew it was going to be a close game. Everyone was talking about blowout. This OU team's obviously much better. And then we played like absolute dog water, hot dog water, whatever you want to say, in the first quarter and the first half. Second half, we were the better team, but we weren't able to crawl our way back in that game. And then when we did, Pete Kwiatkowski, what are you doing? This offense moves fast. All you need is one play to get them behind the chains. And honestly, I think we have a really good chance of winning if we do that, and we just don't do it. Why are you blitzing 3-man down? 3 men down. You should not be doing that. That should have been your normal defense, but you couldn't do it. But we'll see. There was one in here. I'll throw it up there. Slapnuts RC Boomer. Congratulations to you guys. I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to see a rematch in Dallas. I don't see, honestly, like K-State lost to Oklahoma State. So are they going to beat Texas and then not lose another game the rest of the year? Because that's what it's going to take, I think. I don't think there's anyone. Maybe TCU if they get their stuff together. I mean, Texas should be there. Texas would have played a better half of football versus Oklahoma. I think they win this game. They didn't, though. Oklahoma came out ready, prepared, and took the attack to us right off the bat. And that was one of the keys to the game for me. I said in the preview that if Texas were to lose this game, is because Oklahoma came out and slapped us in the face, and they did exactly that. We're very lucky, and I love Jeff Banks. I think he's the best special teams coach in the country. I think he's the best tight ends coach in the country, and you saw that with the block punt for the touchdown. Because if we didn't have that, OU probably would have been up like 14-0. They could have run away. So Quinn Ewers, terrible first half, played very well in the second half. Again, it was a tale of two halves. We just weren't able to win. And honestly, guys, if we won this game, I would have been like, wow, how the hell did we win? Because they played better than us. Oklahoma was the better team today, period, point blank. There's nothing else I can say. They were the better team. They deserved to win that game. Even like I said, when we went up 30-27, I'm like, are we going to win this? Because we shouldn't. And we ended up not because we got way too conservative on defense. Rematch is a must on our way. I agree. I would love to see this game again. I really wish we had a 12-team playoff because then honestly, both these teams would probably be in it. They would. They're definitely two of the top 12 teams in the country. Honestly, there's a possibility, guys. These could be the two best teams in college football. I watched Ohio State. They're not very good. I think Michigan is very good. I think Michigan is the best team in college football. We'll see how Georgia does today. But hell of a game. We were just way too sloppy in the beginning. How am I crying? I just said Oklahoma was a better team. Andrew, rankings for me, OU, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. Ohio State should not be that high. Michigan's fine. I think they should be way higher. OU at once. It depends. How are you ranking? I'm not going to get into that. It depends how you're ranking. If you're ranking based off of resume, no, I couldn't put them that high. Too tall, Josh 48. Yep. Not good for my Texas Longhorns, but good for the Oklahoma Sooners, obviously. You didn't watch the Maryland game. I did watch some of the Maryland game. Maryland is not a good football team. They're going to go 7-5. So, no. Can a one-loss Texas still make the playoff? Yes, they can still make the playoff. They have to beat Oklahoma, and they have to win out. Again, there's two games, and I'm even stretching on that should even be close. We play Kansas State. It's at home. But they just don't have that offense. Like Dylan Gabe, the only thing I'm worried about is the running with Will Howard. But the thing is, I think that'll be fixed. We have both these teams have a bye, which makes sense to me. You should either have it before this or after this. That makes sense. So I think that will be the issue. But I mean, it's TCU and Kansas State. We're not going to lose to Iowa State. I don't think we're going to lose to Texas Tech. They're not very good. And then we play Houston. That's not even going to be close. I feel bad for Houston. Houston's going to get dog walked when we play them in 2 weeks. They're going to get beat like 55-10. So that's going to be interesting. You were the only post-game show I found. So, no, you're good. You're good. I know all the post-game shows. If you're new here, Josh, please subscribe. Please like it. I'm not even the main host. Mark just has me on right now because I'm the Texas guy. It's the biggest game of the year, so he had me on the main channel. I still believe in Alabama wins the SEC. That will put them in the playoffs. There's so many. Again, I wish there was a 12-team playoff. There's so many teams. Both those teams that are playing in College Station could end up with 2 losses and probably could win the national championship. There's no great team. There really isn't, other than possibly Michigan, which I just need to see them with versus an average college football team. An average college football team. Can I see that? And you can say, oh, Rutgers. Rutgers is probably like the 70th, 75th best team in the country. That's not average. Can I see them beat the 60th best team in the country? The 60th? I just want to see something from Michigan versus a good opponent. Good opponent. Just a good opponent. That's all I'm asking for. Minnesota's not even that good. Like, when does Michigan play Maryland? Maryland's decent. Like I said, they're not great, but they're probably, sadly, the 4th, 5th best team in the Big Ten. I think they play them in 2 or 3 weeks. That will tell me more. Ohio State struggled with them. Let's see what Michigan does versus them. And I'm not sure if that game is on the road or at home. That's a good question, too. Penn State beat Iowa 31-0. Yeah, Iowa's terrible. Joey Foster, how about this scenario? OU beats Texas, West Virginia beats OU. The 3 teams only have 1 loss. Who gets in the championship game? Joey Foster, I believe that comes down to your strength of schedule or your strength of record for your conference opponents. So whoever's has the harder schedule, which would have to be Texas, honestly. So I'd be cool with that scenario. And then I don't know West Virginia's schedule that well. You'd have to look that. I know Oklahoma's schedule is terrible. So that would be interesting. I think West Virginia would probably win that scenario. I think it would be Texas and West Virginia in the Big 12 championship game. Yeah, you only have 1 loss to PSU, so I guess we play OU. Yeah, that's interesting too. It'll be interesting. Yeah, if West Virginia goes undefeated, congrats to them. If they play Oklahoma undefeated in the Big 12 championship game, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. It'd be pretty funny, honestly. If we had 1 loss and we missed the Big 12 championship game because West Virginia went undefeated, I couldn't even hate on that, honestly. Andrew, have you watched Iowa? See, this is the issue I have with fans. Watch games. Don't just go by box scores and record. I don't give a shit what the hell Iowa's record is. Iowa's not a good football team. Iowa can only beat teams that have bad offenses. That's the only teams they can beat. If they play a team with a average offense, they lose. Sark will never get it. This is a complete dumb comment. It's 1 game versus a top 15 team in the country that's going to be ranked probably 7th or 6th coming into next week. So no. OU is definitely better than they were last year. They're not back to the form they were under Lincoln Riley. No, they're not back to that form, but they're better than last year for sure. And they're definitely probably with their schedule, they'll probably go undefeated and they'll probably be undefeated in the championship game. That's what I really want to see them again. Because can we just come out and play an average first half and average? Because we played literally terrible in the first half. Terrible. It was one of the worst first halves under Sark, in my opinion. And he's had bad starts, but we've never had starts where we just give the opponents points. And that's exactly what we did in the first half. And you can't do that. You can't. If we had 1 less turnover, we win the game. If we execute on that goal line stand, we win the game. I didn't hate that play calling. Everyone saw it calling Sark a pussy for not going for it on the last one, kicking the field goal. I totally disagree with that. The pussy was on the other, was the guy calling the plays on defense. Pete Kwiatkowski got way too conservative. He blitzed 3, should have been blitzing more. And if you get Oklahoma, let's say in 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 and you want to rush 3, that's fine. But you have to start out aggressive on that drive. You have to. And he just didn't. Yeah, but now you're arguing that an elite team blowing out a foreign team isn't that great because the foreign. No, I'm not arguing that actually. Hats off to Texas though. They are a great unit. Thank you. We played like shit today though. So if we may be great in the grand scheme, well, we're good in the grand scheme of things, but we were shit today. Both OU and Texas are great teams, bottom line, to be honest. I take nothing out of rivalry games. I do think less of Texas, nor do I think more of OU. Rivalries are definitely weird. I definitely agree with that. Like I said, if this game was played in the vacuum, I think we win, but it isn't. And that's why you just got to throw stuff out in rivalry games. And OU was a better team. They deserve to win. Fourth quarter was Texas' best showing the whole game, in my opinion. Was Fourth quarter was Texas' best showing the whole game. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, if Texas had come out and executed what they did in the second half, they win that game. Oklahoma, I believe, only scored 2 touchdowns in the second half, and one of them was literally in prevent defense for whatever reason. I'm like I said, I'm here every Tuesday breaking down the game going into the week. There is no game this week, so it's going to be a deep dive into Oklahoma, bringing it to you guys on the Texas channel and the Big 12 channel. I have to go back and look at that. And I have to wonder why he did that, because you were having success the whole second half stopping Oklahoma, other than the one drive where they missed the field goal. And you just decided, oh, let's do prevent defense. And I just don't understand that. 100%. I agree with this comment 100%. Oklahoma's schedule is not easy. I see them lose. It is easy. What are you talking about? They don't play Kansas State. The only hard game they have, in my opinion, is Kansas. And that's only a hard game if Jalen Daniels plays. If Jalen Daniels doesn't play, they'll beat Kansas. Football is about attitude and tail. Agreed. Oklahoma. No, I agree. I don't know if you're arguing with me or someone else. I agreed. I think Oklahoma's the better team for 3 quarters. It took or 2.5 quarters. I think Texas took them that long to wake up. Oklahoma came out to just punch us in the mouth from the jump. Yeah, Oklahoma State's not good. And West Virginia. Yeah, okay, I'll give you West Virginia. So West Virginia and Kansas. Those are 2 hard games. That's it. I think we can all agree that was the best game this year. I love a great game that has 2 minutes to go and teams are tied. That's a great game. It was a great game. Again, I just wish we came out cleaner. Jonathan Brooks, by the way, I have to say this because I've gotten hate for it ever since I said it. About a year and a month ago, I said Jonathan Brooks would have better stats and be a better overall running back statistics-wise than Bijan Robinson. People went ballistic on me. I did not say he was more talented. I did not say be a better player in the NFL. People just went ballistic. He's playing in a better scheme behind a better offensive line, and he's a very good running back. And guess what? He's doing just that. So I was right on that. Especially if they went out a lot better than 49-0. Yeah. Oh, okay. That does okay. You're taking a one-off game and making a statement that Oklahoma State is all of a sudden good. I watched them get dog walked by South Alabama. Oklahoma State is not a good football team. They will go 6-6, maximum 7-5. No. Big 12 is still big too, in my opinion. Both are, yeah, 100%. There's Texas, Oklahoma, and then there's a drop off to like West Virginia and Kansas, in my opinion, and then there's another big drop off. Oklahoma did much better against the run than I expected. Why couldn't the tackle block Ethan Downs, especially in a run stopper? I don't know. Honestly, I thought we did pretty good in the running game. Our running game was fine. It was the pass protection early on, but then we got in a groove and we were fine. Connor Robertson, by the way, shout out. He played a pretty damn good game for getting thrown in there as a redshirt freshman at center. That was pretty good. Scott, we're not beating Oklahoma and Norman. Probably not, but I think it'll be a decent game. I think you guys will be within 10. You guys play a type of football game that they don't want to see. Neither does Texas, honestly. I'm glad you're not on our schedule. You're going to muck it up, so it's going to be a good game, I think. Looky. OU stopped Texas first and goal from the one. Defense matters. Yeah, 100%. Never said it didn't. 2 differences today for the game is the goal line standing. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel was great with his legs. He was okay with his arm. I wasn't like super impressed. But his legs impressed the hell out of me. He was able to scramble. He kind of looks a couple Texas guys tweeted out he looked like Steve Young. Yeah, that's exactly who he looked like. Like, he doesn't have a gigantic arm. He's sometimes inaccurate, but he's a gamer and you can win with him. So props to him. He did a great job running the ball. He was their leading rusher, had over 100 yards rushing. Texas did a terrible job of keeping him in the pocket. Those are like the 2 things Texas, if they did better today, probably wins the game, is keep Dylan Gabriel in the pocket and don't turn the ball over. I think they win the game probably by 10+ points, but they weren't able to do that. And that's why the game went the way it did. Lots of injuries in the Texas-Oklahoma game shows the depth on both teams. Yeah, for sure. It would have been nice to have Ryan Watts because Gavin Holmes ain't it. I like Terrence Brooks. Terrence Brooks is fine on the one side. He made the one penalty late, but other than that, he played a good game. Gavin Holmes is not very good on the other side. We really need Ryan Watts back. But we play Houston next after a bye week. So I honestly, if he's like still isn't 100%, sit him out for the Houston game. Houston's not beating us. Oh yeah, Joey, 100%. Can West Virginia beat Oklahoma State? That game suddenly scared. No, it should not scare you. You will beat Oklahoma State. Surprising OU, one of the most penalized teams, only committed 3, and it's the same crew as the Texas Bama last year. Yeah, there was a couple missed calls, but again, I'm not going to make complain about this. Oklahoma was the better football team. Period. They won the line of scrimmage for the most part. They ran the ball more consistently. I would say Texas got it going in the second half, but throughout the game, Oklahoma was a more consistent running team. They didn't like break anything off like Jonathan Brooks did, but they were more consistent throughout the game. And then they just made the key timely plays and stops, honestly. And that it was the fourth down. It was the goal line stand, honestly. That won them the game. It did. There you go. There. Shout it out, Jackson. Please do that. Please subscribe to that channel right there, guys. I said OU would win. Good game, though. Thank you. Yeah, they won. I'm not shocked. I think a lot of people, Texas fans, are shocked, and I'm just not. You won 49-0. This team's think about that. Imagine you're a Michigan fan. I know we talked before. If you lost to Ohio State 49-0, how do you think your team would react the next year? They would come out the first half and balls ablaze. And I knew as long as we withstood that first shot by Oklahoma, then we'd be in the game. And that's what happened. The problem is that fumble, the goal line stand, and prevent defense in the end cost us. That's how they won. I don't know about that because scenario for you guys. Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State all beat each other. They all have one loss. Alabama goes on to beat Texas A&M. Georgia goes undefeated to the SEC championship game. Alabama beats them. So you have Alabama with one loss, Georgia with one loss, Penn State with one loss, Ohio State with one loss, Michigan with one loss. Let's say Texas beats Oklahoma. Texas with one loss, Oklahoma with one loss. Tell me in that situation who gets in. Tell me. I didn't even mention the Pac-12. I did not even mention the Pac-12. That's 7 teams right there, I believe, that I just mentioned with one loss. 6 or 7. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. And I caught, as a Texas fan, it would suck, but this should be a 12-team playoff, man. Because let me tell you right now, Oklahoma's a 12th rated team. You're telling me they couldn't win the national championship? I think they could. There's not a great team this year. This deserves to, in Notre Dame, thank you, Andrew, Pac-12 champ, Notre Dame, FSU also. There's so many teams that can win the national championship. This is the most wide open year, and I've been saying this from the jump. I told Mark early on, he said 5 to 6 teams can win the national championship. I'm on record saying 10 to 12, and I still believe that wholeheartedly. And the thing is, what's going to be used against me to say, well, look, this team has 2 losses. That doesn't mean they couldn't win the national championship. You're telling me a 2-loss Washington, if they lose to USC and Oregon, couldn't have beaten the other teams and won the national championship? They absolutely could have. They absolutely could have. Thank you again, Jackson. Please do that. But again, will they? Will they? I'm not sure. I think Alabama has to lose today. I think Georgia has to go undefeated, or they can lose one game, basically, win the SEC championship game. I think Penn State, because that's the thing. Texas's schedule was not as good as Penn State. So it's Penn State beats Michigan, or if they beat Michigan is the big one. If they beat Ohio State and Ohio State, I could see Ohio State losing 2 games. I could not see Michigan losing 2 games with the schedule they have. There's so many things, guys. A 12-year would be so good. It's definitely wide open. OU took a big step today. 100% they did. Yeah, he's a gamer. He's a lot like Max Duggan. That's who he's a left-handed Max Duggan. He can be accurate sometimes, and then he'll miss. There were a couple throws he just missed that were there, but he's accurate when he needs to be. He's good on his legs. He's a good scrambler. He's a hard-nosed player. He got hit a couple times hard today. I think Penn State beats us. You think they beat you over Michigan? Because the only reason I would agree with you, if that's in Happy Valley, I think Penn State wins that game honestly pretty easily. It's not, and that is a big factor. Ohio State going undefeated. Wow, that's bold. If Texas wins out and they beat OU in the Big 12 title game, plus Bama goes 12-1, I think Texas gets in over. But yeah, 100% head-to-head does matter, Jackson. That's a good point. But the thing is, you didn't say, what about Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State? What if they, again, all beat each other? And then the big one that throws a wrench in that, even what I just mentioned, if a team comes out of the Pac-12 with 1 loss and wins it, or what if the worst case scenario for everything that throws a wrench in everything, you have 1 undefeated team in the Pac-12 championship, you have 1 team with the loss, and the one team with the loss beats the undefeated. You have two teams with the loss, in my opinion, the best conference in football this year. That usually gets rewarded. I'm not 100%. And by the way, God, hard for me to say. That wasn't my goal. My goal at the beginning of the year was Texas wins the Big 12 championship. As long as that happens, the college football playoff to me was not a goal up until we beat Alabama for most fans. And then it became kind of a goal for mine. But win the Big 12 championship. That's all I care about. That is all I care about. Win the Big 12 championship. Yeah, 100%. We have to win out. And it's an easy schedule, but there's like two games that scare me, TCU and Kansas State. I'm not scared of Iowa State. I'm not scared of Houston. And then Texas, like right now, if Texas has a Big 12 championship game on the line versus Texas Tech after Brett Yomark and Texas Tech talked all that smack, we'll beat Texas Tech last week this season. So it's really a 2-week season for me. It's Kansas State and TCU. We take care of business with those. I think we rematch with Oklahoma. I think these things will iron themselves out after a few upsets inevitably. I hope so. It would really suck if Texas goes or loses one game and it was versus a top 10 team in Oklahoma, and then we win the Big 12 championship and we didn't make it because just the most chaotic year happened. I mean, I never said that. Never have said that. By the way, we're not the ones saying this. Texas fans do not say this. It is the media. The media says this. Thank you. I agree. We're a good team. We're still, like I said, we're still a top 10 team. I think, like I said, I think there's about 10 to 12 teams. You throw them in a mix, you can pick who's ever the best. You could still argue Texas is the best team in college football. You could argue Oklahoma is the best team in college football. Right now, for my money, I would put my money on Michigan as being the best team in college football. I said that before today. I think before today, I said Michigan and Texas. Now it's probably Michigan and Michigan. I don't see a second best team. If Georgia kills Kentucky today, I'll put them back at 2. But I think there's Michigan a little bit of a drop off, a little bit, not much. And then there's like 10 teams right there. What? OU in the Big 12 championship, you should definitely be scared. It's actually the opposite for me. It's really hard to beat a team twice, and Quinn Ewers isn't turning the ball over 3 times versus Oklahoma again. That's not happening. So I'd actually be way more confident going into that game than I was into this game. Oklahoma State 5th, Texas 6th in my polls. Oklahoma 5th. I read State. Yeah. Yeah, I would say either 5th or 6th or 6th and 7th is my opinion. Ewers is still dangerous. When he is on, he's fucking good. When he's off, he is god awful. That's why I told Mark that too. I said when he's on, he's very good. When he's off, he is bad. And when I mean bad, I mean putrid. He was terrible in that first half. That first interception was one of the worst throws I've ever seen a quarterback make. You have a double slant, and then you throw it behind the first slant to the second slant, which is already a no-no to me unless it's wide open. And it wasn't even close to being open. The second one, he tried to get his guy killed, Jatavian Sanders, with a bad throw. He should have thrown that low and down. Instead, he threw it high and away. I didn't like either of those. The fumble, I'm not going to be too hard on. That was a big hit. He was trying to make a play. Jim R. Michigan is as good as anyone I've seen this year. I'm looking forward to PSU playing. Yeah, that'll be a very good game. Michigan is very good. Michigan is almost robotic at this point, how they're killing teams. Northwestern is beating a high school team 16-0. Yeah, I saw William and Mary was up on Virginia at one point. I thought that was pretty funny. I know Virginia ended up winning that game, but yeah, guys, I'm so pumped. I just want a rematch right now. Can we just click our fingers and have a rematch? I want to watch that game again. Like, I love that game. It's so fun to watch. It really is. But it sucks that we lost, but I'm praying for the rematch. I think college football games are praying for a rematch. What I loved about this game, it wasn't 51-50. Both teams have a defense. Yeah, 100%. Both teams do have a good defense. Texas, missing Ryan Watts, hurt a little bit. I still can't get over the play calling on that last drive by the defense. I cannot understand that, but it is what it is. Well, see, remember Michigan, they haven't played anyone, but okay, so that's the thing too people have to compartmentalize about. Michigan has not played anyone, and I want to see them play someone, but I've also seen Michigan, and they've looked the most dominant versus bad competition. If I had to go off that, it would be Michigan and Washington, or just other than Arizona, we're boat racing teams and looking good while doing it. They have not played anyone, so I do agree with that. PSU is the best team in the Big Ten. I think they beat Michigan. I've said that since the offseason. I had Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. I have in the playoff, I had Michigan, Clemson. That was wrong. and I'm stupid as hell for that. I had Florida State literally 2 days before I changed that pick to Clemson, but I did. I had Michigan, Clemson, Alabama, and Penn State. So we'll see. I think I get 2 out of 4. I'm iffy on Alabama, obviously. That last drive of the defense to not blitz the QB, they have no timeouts. 100%. One negative play ends that drive. One. If they sack Dylan Gabriel on 1st and 10 with a minute left, they're at 45 seconds and as that snap goes off. So whatever they get, let's say they get 15 yards, they're at 35 seconds on the 35-yard line. At best, they get a field goal in that scenario. It's just absolute idiotic play calling. Anthony Hill, by the way, I thought he was going to have a bad day because of the because he does get lost at points. Phenomenal. Why he didn't rush the passer that whole last drive or a couple other times was insane to me. Rutgers poop the bet against Wisconsin. That pick six was the Big Ten West is god awful. Who again? That should not be a primetime game. Why is that a primetime game? Why is whoever wins the East playing Wisconsin a primetime game? That makes no sense to me. Mike Gee, what a hell of a game. It was a very good game. It was a very good game. I'm going to keep saying it. Alabama has a running back playing QB. He can make some throws, but yeah, overall, he's not great. But he's gotten better, I will say that, and there's definitely tools there for him to work with. He's got a strong arm. He needs to work on accuracy and reading defenses. And honestly, his accuracy is not even that bad. It's reading defenses. He doesn't know what he's saying. I had Bama, USC, PSU, and Texas in the playoffs. I still alive except for Bama. I mean, if Bama beats A&M and they win the SEC, if Bama beats A&M, they can win the SEC championship game. And if they win the SEC championship game and loss, they're still in it. So it's possible. But again, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. Go over to the Texas channel, subscribe. Go over to the Big 12 channel, subscribe. Please do that. We're trying to grow that. And go to the SEC channel and subscribe. We really need your help with that too. I'm going to throw up the score for the people that may not have seen it. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but I'll throw it up there again just because, even though I don't want to see it. Texas loses to Oklahoma 34-30. Let's get back into these comments. I love having this many people to talk to. I haven't been able to do it all year. That's why I need more subscribers over there. USC isn't going anywhere with that D. I would agree, but I don't know. It's just a weird year. It is. I don't think there's a great team, so I think that opens the door. I would agree. In your typical year, USC's not sniffing the playoff. But this isn't your typical year. There isn't a dominant force yet. I think Michigan has a possibility to be that. If Michigan beats Penn State or Ohio State by a wide margin, they're by far the best team. There won't even be a doubt. Look at a New Year's Six Bowl. That's possible too. I could see that. I think I had either USC or Washington winning the Pac-12. I'd have to look back at that. I wasn't super high on Oregon. I think those are my top 3 teams, but I don't think I had Oregon winning it. I'm pretty sure it was USC or I think it was USC, honestly. I 100% agree with this. Everyone has holes in their game. Natty's up for grabs. Agreed. The team with the least amount of holes to me is Michigan. They have the least amount of holes. They have a really good offensive line, really good defensive line, good secondary, really good quarterback that can play on the run. I just want to see J.J. McCarthy where he's forced to go shotgun for most of the game. If you can force him into the situation, I'd be interested to see that. And it'd be Texas has holes for sure. The safeties I do not like. Keaton Crawford should never see the field unless it's special teams. He blocked that punt. They scored a touchdown. I have no issue with him on special teams. He is not good at all in coverage at all. So that needs to be changed. And then you can take advantage of our linebackers in space with really fast players and wide receivers out in coverage. That's about it on the defense. On the offense, it basically comes down to, can you get consistent pressure like Oklahoma did in the first half versus Quinn? You saw if you don't do it, he moves the ball very easily. But if you can get it consistently in the first half, then you can get some turnovers and basically end the game in the first half. Because that's what it was. It was Texas consistently trying to crawl their way out of the hole they dug. They just couldn't do it. You think you could have a 2-loss Pac-12 champ? The only way that would happen is if Ohio State lost 2 games and Alabama won the SEC with 2 games. That's the only way. So Alabama would have to lose today, win the SEC West somehow, and then beat Georgia, or A&M wins today, loses another game, and then beats Georgia. But because then I think, honestly, guys, if Georgia loses the SEC championship game, they shouldn't make it. Their schedule's terrible. Yeah, well, that was Catalan. Catalan's not supposed to be out there covering. That was just a mismatch. He's a box safety, so I have no issue with Catalan. If you're going to have Catalan covering, that's on the defensive scheme. Keaton Crawford is not a thumper, and he can't cover. He's number 21. 11, Catalan is fine. I understood. I didn't understand why he was in coverage. I understood why he got beat, because he shouldn't have been back there. That was a stupid design to have him in any type of coverage situation. To me, he's a guy that you play in the box on 1st and 10, and then you blitz him on 3rd and longs. I don't know why he's back there. I think he means win a Pac-10 title. Well, yeah, I think that could happen for sure. And then Joey, please go to that, guys. Visit our sponsor for a 2-week free trial, Aura.com. Texas A&M scores. What's the score of that game? It was, I'm guessing, I didn't see it. A&M was in the red zone. It was probably 3-0. I think. I didn't really see the score, but I would assume he made the kick. It was like a 30-yarder. By the way, shout out to Bert Auburn. I was worried he's going to miss that. He didn't. He did his job. He made 3 field goals today. He was great. Texas defense failed him mightily. Oh, it's 10-9. Does Alabama have a touchdown and a safety, a touchdown and a missed extra point, and a field goal? 3 field goals? What do they have? I'm not able to watch that. Tied now. So, okay. So they just made the extra point. So 10-10. So they must have, Alabama must have kicked the field goal. I was wrong on that. No, what I was I'm talking about, is that likely a 2-loss team win the Pac-12? Yeah, probably, because first off, their schedules are all backloaded. And why the Pac-12 did that, that's why that conference will not exist after this year. Makes no sense to me. You're sabotaging your teams. And this team and the teams are all solid. Like 1 through 6, it's the best conference in college football, in my opinion. It's very good. OU front set was very solid. Very, very solid. It took us 2.5 quarters to get our rhythm going on offense. 2 quarters. You had like sparing drives, but like consistently 2 quarters to basically get something going. They were very good. They blew us off the line early on. That was emotion in the first quarter, but in the second quarter, when the game got into more flow, they were able to do that. They struggled versus the run still. Jonathan Brooks, I believe, had over 100 yards again. He was freaking phenomenal as usual. Let's see here. I have it screenshot on my phone. Yes, Jonathan Brooks had, cannot find it. Let's see. He had 159 yards, 5.9 yards. Yeah, he was great. Overall, really good by the running game, honestly. And then Jordan Whittington, I said he was going to be our like key difference maker. The guy had 10 catches for 115 yards. He was very good in this game. He just didn't catch a touchdown. Tim Tebow is married. He got married a long time ago to like Miss Universe or something like that. That's pretty funny if that did happen. Gunnar Helm, shout out to him too. 4 receptions, 67 yards. Really good. Quinn Ewers, this is crazy. 31 of 37, 346. The guy had 2 interceptions at the beginning. And if you take out these 2 interceptions, which you can't, but still, he only had 4 incompletions. That's what's frustrating about Quinn. Again, when he is really, really good, he's really, really good. If you took Quinn and took his best plays and put them on tape, and that's all you watch, you would say, why isn't this guy the first pick in the draft? If you put his 10 worst tape plays on tape, why would you say, how is this guy playing football? He makes great throws, and then he makes terrible throws. It's just, it was just bad. Did you all have static during the? Yes, there was apparently ESPN Disney satellite the sun is blocking it, so that you got static, and that was annoying, by the way, because I missed the 4th down. I missed the punt, the fake punt. I missed half of that. Texas should run the table the rest of the way. 100%, 100%. There's no one even close on our schedule that should come close to us. Kansas State, yes, Will Howard can do what Gabriel did on the ground. He can't do what he did through the air. TCU, Chandler Morris, that's the one guy, honestly, that fits the Gabriel role, and that's on the road. That will probably be our hardest game. Just, I think, styles make fights, and that style I don't really like playing against. So that will be our hardest game, in my opinion, left, especially on the road. Bama doesn't have great skill players. Yes, they're high-rated recruits, but they don't make plays. Bama offense is average. Their defense is top 5, though. Their defense is very good. Oklahoma QB has it between the ears, in my opinion. I'm probably tired of hearing about yours. He is a gamer, and he's smart. Yes. He's not going to be – he'll get drafted. He'll be Max Duggan. He'll get drafted 5th through 7th round and be a backup. That's what he is, but he's a gamer, and he made the plays when they counted. I mean, there were a couple times he got hit pretty hard, and I was like, he's not going to get up, and he got up. He's a good player. He really is. I've never had anything bad to say about Dylan Gabriel other than he has a weak arm. K-State lost to OK State. Yeah, but they're better than that. They'll play versus us. Every team is going to play well to play their best game versus us. That's just how that goes. Unless you're Baylor, in which you're kind of giving up, honestly. But everyone else has, and we just need to come out better starts, honestly. Second half, we dominate versus everyone. We were dominating the second half in this game, but we just dug ourselves too big of a hole in the first half and then a bad first drive coming out, and that's what happens. Someone had to lose, but seriously doubt it's the last time we see OU this season. That'd be freaking awesome. I would love, love, love to play them again. That was just a fun game. It really was. It was the first time it mattered in a long time, and it was a fun game. Yeah, I disagree with that. I think they win the game like 27-13. They're basically UGA is just a better version of Kentucky. That's all that is. 100% it matters. I think there's a stat. Chris Sims always touts of like starts and like how well you do in the NFL. And I think it's over 30 career starts in college, and your success is much better in the NFL. He used that with Sam Darnold years back, and I think that's a real thing. Like you see multiple looks, you see multiple schemes, you run multiple schemes, you run multiple looks. Like there's just so many different things in that. So yeah, good aggressive coaching game. Yeah, I would agree. Everyone, by the way, I like Barstool, but those guys are freaking morons when it comes to certain things. Like I saw Brandon Walker. I like him, but he's an idiot when it comes to this. I saw Dan Katz, like him, he's an idiot. Dave Portnoy, they're just idiots when it comes to this stuff. And I saw he's a pussy for for kicking the field goal instead of going for it. No, he's not. That was the right decision on 4th and 3. Because guess what? The same thing could happen in a better position. You miss the 4th down. Guess what? They go down the field and they kick the field goal. The game's over. You were forcing them to score a touchdown to beat you. A field goal was only going to tie if you make the field goal. He made the field goal. The defense is what cost the game because they played soft coverage. That's why. I don't really even feel bad that we lost there. We made critical turnovers, uncharacteristic errors, and we were somehow still in the game. Just 100% agreed. They were the better team, and they only beat us by 4. We turned the ball. They won the turnover battle by 3. They had less turnovers by like 6 or 7. They had less sacks by 4, and they beat us by 4 points. And it took them a long drive at the end of the game when we played conservative. That's what it took. So that's why I'm not like into this. If we played this game, just this game, which was, in my opinion, our C game, C- game, throughout the rest of the year, we beat everyone left on our schedule by 10 plus points. And we see him again. That is the goal. The goal should be Steve Sarkisian should slap up OU and say, "Do you see this?" And then he should slap up every team we play up before them, or if we win out, it would be before them, and say, we're ripping one of these down until we get to them again, because we need to play them again. But to play them again, you have to beat these teams in front of them. That's how it should be. That Michigan OSU watch party was gold last year with Barstool's funny. I'm just saying it wasn't a pussy move. It was the right move. If we make a stop, guess what? No one's talking about it. Agree. Texas lost the game. They did. They lost the game in the first half. You can't have 2 turnovers in the first half and then have another one later. To have the first half Texas did, they would have had to been perfect in the second half to win that game, and they weren't. They weren't. Smooth criminal. No, 100% not out of it. Not out of it. It's not that easy, though. No, 100% it's not that easy. If it was that easy, Texas would have been there last year, because the schedule last year wasn't very good. But this Texas team is better. Their offensive line. That's the one thing I disagree with people with. That offensive line is good. It's not great. It's not. It's good. It can get pushed around by a decent defensive line, and that's what Oklahoma did. Our defensive line is good, and I was impressed by Oklahoma being able to contain us for the most part. But again, guys, can you please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. Go over to the SEC channel and do that. Texas is going to move over there. So why don't you hit the like button, subscribe over there, and go over to the Big 12 channel, hit the like button, subscribe over there. Also, guys, if you're going to buy tickets, save some money, go over to ticketsmarter.com, type in code BIG for $10 off a purchase of $100 or more, and then type in code BIG20 for $20 off a purchase of $300 more. Thank you guys for that. Again, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. We're trying to grow these channels. Please do that, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, comments, or concerns, I may call this one because there is some good college football on, and I wouldn't mind to go watch it. OU's path to an undefeated season won't be easy either. They have two. I think both teams honestly have 2 hard games left. I think TCU and Kansas State is a decently hard games for Texas, and I think West Virginia and Kansas are the hard games left for Oklahoma. After that, if they win those games, they're going to win. Oh, Texas ain't losing to Iowa State. Texas ain't losing to Houston. And Texas is, if again, this is the key to this. If Texas has a Big 12 championship berth on the line at home versus Texas Tech, they're not losing that game. They're not. So it's TCU and Kansas State. And I believe we go Houston. Then I think we do play TCU. So that'll be an interesting game. In 10 games, who do you think wins the majority of the time between Texas and Oklahoma? Okay. So I got to answer this with another question. Where's this game played? Where's this game played? That's the question. Y'all have a great chat. I'm going to watch some games, maybe later in chats. Thank you, Felipe. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But Vince, I will answer this question if you give me an answer on that. Like, where does this game play? If this game is played in Dallas, I think it's 5-5, Texas, Oklahoma. I think if this game is played in Jerry World, 7-3, Texas. That's my opinion. But if this game's played in Dallas, it's 5-5. But yeah, so Texas loses this game 34-30. First time giving up over 30 points the whole year for the Longhorns on defense. And honestly, they shouldn't have given up because Quinn Ewers had that bad turnover at the beginning that's cost them a touchdown. Really only gave up 27 points. They played a pretty good game. Other than, again, the last drive is it's gonna bother me, especially if we don't get to rematch them. If we don't get to rematch them, and that's how this taste is gonna feel in my mouth to the end of the year, until we play them again next year, it's really going to suck, guys. It really is. But again, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. Go over to the Texas channel. I will be here 7:30 p.m. Eastern time breaking down the Oklahoma game, talking about Houston. Not too much. We're going to be breaking down the Oklahoma game. So if you go to the Texas channel, go over to the Big 12 channel, subscribe 7:30 p.m. Eastern time this Tuesday. Hit that like button. Subscribe down below. Hook them, guys. I'm going to answer a couple of these, and then I'll bounce out of here. Go Buckeyes, Boomer, and I'll throw it up there. Guess what? You guys, I'm not saying it. But congratulations to you guys. I hope we see you again in Jerry's World in December. But, guys, hook them forever and always. Thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button and subscribe down below.